Which of the following best defines a vulnerable customer under the General Insurance Code of Practice, GICUST 2020? A. A customer who has defaulted on multiple insurance premiums. B. A customer who is experiencing circumstances that may affect their ability to engage with insurers effectively. C. A customer who frequently switches insurance providers. D. A customer who does not own any assets. The correct answer is B, a customer who is experiencing circumstances that may affect their ability to engage with insurers effectively. Explanation. According to GICUST 2020, a vulnerable customer is someone who, due to personal circumstances such as age, disability, mental health, or financial hardship, may require special support to understand or access insurance services. This definition recognizes vulnerability as situational and not limited to a fixed group. Which of the following is not listed as a category of vulnerability in the GICUST 2020? A. Domestic or family violence. B. High income level. C. Cultural and linguistic diversity. D. Mental health conditions. The correct answer is B. High income level. Explanation. GICUST 2020 outlines various categories of vulnerability, including age, disability, mental health, financial hardship, domestic violence, backgrounds, literacy barriers, and experiences of natural disasters. High income level is not a category of vulnerability under the code. What is the primary reason why insurers must recognize that vulnerability is dynamic and situational? A. Because all customers eventually become vulnerable. B. To increase the insurer's sales opportunities. C. Because customers' circumstances can change over time, requiring different types of support. D. To reduce legal liabilities under the Insurance Contracts Act. The correct answer is C, because a customer's circumstances can change over time, requiring different types of support. Explanation. Recognizing vulnerability as dynamic means understanding that customers' ability to interact with insurers can fluctuate due to temporary or permanent conditions. This flexibility is essential in tailoring services to individual needs. A customer with limited literacy and numeracy skills is trying to understand their insurance policy. What is the most appropriate action under GICUST 2020? A. Refer them to an external financial advisor. B. Continue as usual to avoid making them uncomfortable. C. Provide plain English documents or offer verbal explanations. D. Deny coverage until they fully understand the document. The correct answer is C. Provide plain English documents or offer verbal explanations. Explanation. The GICUST 2020 requires insurers to ensure materials are accessible to all customers. This includes using plain English large print or explaining terms verbally when necessary, especially for those with literacy and numeracy barriers. Which legislation primarily governs how insurers handle a vulnerable customer's personal and sensitive information? A. Australian Consumer Law. B. Privacy Act 1988. C. ASIC Regulatory Guide 271. D. Anti-Money Laundering Act 2006. The correct answer is B. Privacy Act 1988. Explanation. The Privacy Act 1988 outlines the rules for collecting, storing, and using personal and sensitive information. Insurers must comply with this act when dealing with vulnerable customers to protect their rights and privacy. Which of the following is a staff training requirement under GICUST 2020 regarding vulnerable customers? A. Staff must only refer vulnerable cases to legal departments. B. Staff must avoid discussing vulnerability unless the customer initiates. C. Staff must be trained to identify and support customers in vulnerable circumstances. D. Staff must conduct psychological assessments of vulnerable customers. The correct answer is C. Staff must be trained to identify and support customers in vulnerable circumstances. Explanation. GICUST 2020 places an obligation on insurers to train their staff to identify and respond appropriately to customers in vulnerable situations. This helps ensure sensitive and respectful engagement. A customer is recovering from a natural disaster and is overwhelmed by policy paperwork. Which is the most compliant action under the code? A. Insist the customer complete everything within the standard deadline. B. Deny the claim due to incomplete documentation. C. Offer additional support or extensions to complete paperwork. D. Escalate to the dispute resolution team immediately. The correct answer is C. Offer additional support or extensions to complete paperwork. Explanation. GICUST 2020 requires insurers to act flexibly and provide reasonable support for vulnerable customers, especially those affected by natural disasters, including offering time extensions or help completing forms. Which of the following regulatory guides informs how insurers handle complaints from vulnerable customers? A. RG 209B, RG 165C, RG 271D, RG 146. The correct answer is C. RG 271 explanation. A 6 Regulatory Guide 271 RG 271 outlines best practices for internal dispute resolution, including specific expectations for dealing with vulnerable customers with empathy, accessibility, and fairness. Which of the following is a correct example of providing accessible service for a customer with a vision impairment? A. Offering a loan to buy a magnifying device. B. Asking a family member to explain the document. C. Providing the document in large print or audio format. D. Explaining the terms only once and asking the customer to sign. The correct answer is C. Providing the document in large print or audio format. Explanation. Providing information in an accessible format, such as large print, audio, or braille, helps ensure that customers with disabilities can understand and engage with their insurance product. What is the impact of vulnerability on a customer's decision-making in the insurance context? A. It guarantees higher claim payouts. B. It makes them legally ineligible to purchase insurance. C. It may impair their ability to understand, assess, or act in their best interest. D. It improves the speed of policy issuance. The correct answer is C. It may impair their ability to understand, assess, or act in their best interest. Explanation. Vulnerable customers may struggle with comprehension, assessment, or making sound decisions without support, which can increase the risk of misunderstanding or harm. Recognizing this helps insurers apply suitable protections. Which of the following is a common communication-based indicator of customer vulnerability? A. Prompt and clear decision-making. B. Repeated requests for clarification. C. Assertive negotiation on policy terms. D. Refusal to disclose personal information. The correct answer is B. Repeated requests for clarification. Explanation. Repeated requests for clarification may indicate that the client is struggling to understand the information being presented. This is a communication-based sign of vulnerability and could suggest cognitive overload, stress, or language barriers. It's essential to tailor communication and check understanding in such situations. A customer who is suddenly silent and reluctant to engage in conversation may be showing signs of A. Confidence. B. Financial literacy. C. Vulnerability. D. Customer dissatisfaction. The correct answer is C. Vulnerability. Explanation. Silence or reluctance can indicate discomfort, confusion, or distress. Recognizing this as a potential vulnerability sign allows the advisor to adjust their approach empathetically. Which of the following behaviors might suggest situational vulnerability? A. The client requests a discount. B. The client discloses recent bereavement. C. The client delays signing to review terms. D. The client asks detailed questions. The correct answer is B. The client discloses recent bereavement. Explanation. Disclosing events such as bereavement, illness, or separation can indicate situational vulnerability. Such life events may temporarily affect the client's decision-making capacity, which is the most appropriate way to confirm understanding when dealing with a potentially vulnerable client. A. Ask them to repeat the information in their own words. B. Ask them to sign immediately. C. Move on quickly to avoid discomfort. D. Use technical language for accuracy. The correct answer is A. Ask them to repeat the information in their own words. Explanation. This confirms comprehension in a respectful way and highlights any misunderstandings early, which is essential when clients may be confused or overwhelmed. A client appears nervous and disoriented during your conversation. What is the best first step to take? A. Ask them to call back later. B. Ignore it and proceed. C. Speak slowly and offer a written summary. D. Terminate the conversation immediately. The correct answer is C. Speak slowly and offer a written summary explanation. Slowing the pace and reinforcing key points in writing can reduce client anxiety and support understanding. These are essential techniques for vulnerable clients. When a client discloses that they have been recently diagnosed with a serious illness, what should you do? A. Use professional judgment and consider support needs. B. Refer them to legal services. C. Ask for medical documentation. D. Continue without acknowledging the comment. The correct answer is A. Use professional judgment and consider support needs explanation. Advisors must respond with empathy and adjust communication or processes accordingly, including referral to support teams when appropriate. Which of the following actions best supports a vulnerable client's autonomy? A. Clearly explain options and allow time to decide. B. Tell them the most popular choice. C. Make the decision on their behalf. D. Limit their options to avoid confusion. The correct answer is A. Clearly explain options and allow time to decide. Explanation, empowering clients to make their own decisions, helps preserve dignity and confidence. Vulnerable clients especially benefit from unhurried, well-explained options. What is a key consideration when involving a third party to support a vulnerable client? A. Involve someone automatically for efficiency. B. Only involve someone with the client's consent. C. Ask their family member directly. D. Ignore privacy concerns in urgent cases. The correct answer is B. Only involve someone with the client's consent. Explanation. Consent is essential to maintain privacy and comply with ethical and legal obligations. The client must be comfortable with involving third parties. Which of the following is an appropriate use of professional judgment when dealing with a potentially vulnerable client? A. Assuming they need help. B. Asking respectful, fact-based questions. C. Proceeding as usual without changes. D. Pressuring them to make a quick choice. The correct answer is B. Asking respectful, fact-based questions. Explanation. Avoiding assumptions is key. Asking respectful and objective questions helps gather relevant facts to determine whether additional support is needed. What is one recommended approach when supporting a client who displays inconsistent answers and confusion? A. Offer more time and confirm understanding. B. Proceed quickly to avoid confusion. C. Ask someone else to deal with them. D. Skip to the final step. The correct answer is A. Offer more time and confirm understanding. Explanation. Clients showing confusion need additional time and reinforcement of key messages. This helps them make informed and confident decisions. What is the most appropriate way to demonstrate empathy when assisting a vulnerable customer? A. Offer advice before they finish explaining their situation. B. Quickly process their issue to reduce call time. C. Listen actively without judgment and acknowledge their concerns. D. Ask closed-ended questions to gather facts efficiently. The correct answer is C. Listen actively without judgment and acknowledge their concerns. Explanation. Acting with empathy and integrity involves listening without judgment, allowing the customer to express themselves fully. Acknowledging their concerns helps build trust and demonstrates that their situation is being taken seriously. This is essential when supporting vulnerable individuals. In situations involving family or domestic violence, which of the following actions should be avoided? A. Minimizing re-traumatization by limiting the need to repeat details. B. Sharing case information internally only on a need-to-know basis. C. Ensuring documentation is specially flagged for confidentiality. D. Notifying the perpetrator of any claim-related activity. The correct answer is D. Notifying the perpetrator of any claim-related activity. Explanation. Supporting the affected party, not the perpetrator, is critical. Any disclosure to the perpetrator could place the victim at risk. According to Section 6.2 of GICUST 2001, privacy and safety concerns must be paramount when handling family and domestic violence cases. When should a staff member escalate a case to the insurer's hardship team? A. When the customer has paid their premium but is unhappy with the service. B. When a customer is showing signs of difficulty meeting financial commitments. C. When a claim is delayed beyond the insurer's standard timeline. D. When the customer insists on speaking with supervisor. The correct answer is B. When a customer is showing signs of difficulty meeting financial commitments. Explanation. Escalating to hardship teams is necessary when customers experience financial hardship, such as struggling with premium payments or claim excesses. According to GICUST Part 10 and Section 5.2 of GICUST 2001, referral to these internal support teams can help identify suitable support options. What is the primary purpose of sensitive flagging in a vulnerable customer's file? A. To alert all departments to provide quicker service. B. To track customer behavior for marketing insights. C. To ensure continuity of care and maintain limited access for privacy. D. To simplify access for all frontline staff. The correct answer is C. To ensure continuity of care and maintain limited access for privacy. Explanation. Sensitive flagging ensures that vulnerable customers receive consistent and informed support. It also protects their privacy by restricting access only to relevant personnel. This aligns with Section 7.1 of GICUST 2001 and privacy obligations under the Privacy Act. Why is it important to avoid using stigmatizing language in internal staff notes? A. It increases customer satisfaction survey scores. B. It improves claim processing speed. C. It helps uphold dignity and avoid bias in future interactions. D. It allows the use of common industry shorthand. The correct answer is C. It helps uphold dignity and avoid bias in future interactions. Explanation. Using respectful, neutral language in internal notes ensures that future interactions remain unbiased and empathetic. Section 7.2 of GICUST 2001 emphasizes the importance of avoiding stigmatization to promote ethical conduct and professionalism. Which action best demonstrates respect for a vulnerable customer's autonomy? A. Making decisions for them to reduce their stress. B. Offering options and allowing them to choose how to proceed. C. Asking their family member to speak on their behalf. D. Avoiding discussion about their needs to prevent discomfort. The correct answer is B. Offering options and allowing them to choose how to proceed. Explanation. Respecting autonomy means empowering the customer to make informed decisions even when they are vulnerable. Section 5.1 of GICUST 2001 stresses the importance of balancing care with respect for the individual's right to make their own choices. Which of the following is a valid example of temporary financial relief a company may offer to a vulnerable customer? A. Premium increase with extended coverage. B. Free legal representation. C. Suspension of policy obligations indefinitely. D. Payment deferral or installment plan for premiums. The correct answer is D. Payment deferral or installment plan for premiums. Explanation. Under GICUST Part 10 and Section 6.1 of GICUST 2001, insurers may offer relief such as installment plans, claim excess assistance, or premium deferrals to support customers experiencing financial hardship. What is the role of internal dispute resolution (IDA) in supporting vulnerable customers? A. To eliminate the need for the customer to contact external ombudsman services. B. To reduce insurer liability. C. To manage all customer complaints with formal legal proceedings. D. To provide a timely, fair, and accessible avenue to resolve complaints. The correct answer is D. To provide a timely, fair, and accessible avenue to resolve complaints. Explanation. IDA processes are essential for supporting vulnerable customers who may struggle with complex claims or dissatisfaction. Section 5.2 of GICUST 2001 encourages referral to IDA teams when disputes arise, ensuring complaints are handled sensitively and promptly. When storing consent and support arrangements for a vulnerable customer, what is the best practice? A. Use a shared folder for all team members to access. B. Note details only in email correspondence. C. Store securely with limited access in accordance with privacy laws. D. Leave documentation to be collected manually later. The correct answer is C. Store securely with limited access in accordance with privacy laws. Explanation. Storing sensitive information must comply with legal standards and protect the customer's privacy. According to Section 7.1 of GICUST 2001, all records should be securely stored and accessible only to relevant staff, ensuring lawful and ethical data management. Why is consistency in handling vulnerable customer cases essential across all staff members? A. It allows faster claim settlement for all customers. B. It reduces training requirements for new staff. C. It ensures equitable treatment and avoids re-traumatization. D. It simplifies documentation procedures. The correct answer is C. It ensures equitable treatment and avoids re-traumatization. Explanation. Consistency in tone, treatment, and support helps maintain trust and avoids forcing the customer to repeat distressing details. Section 5.3 of GICUST 2001 emphasizes that consistent service contributes to better outcomes and ethical care.